That was real. No! Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and today I'm going to be doing my Christmas, mostly bookish haul. It's actually been over a month since I've filmed a video, so sorry if I'm a little bit rough in this, but I'm going to show you some of the things that I got before Christmas actually happened, and then the gifts that I got from my family and friends. So let's get started. First off, this shirt, it says books only work if you read them, which I love this shirt. It's now a new favorite. First set is right here. This video is sponsored in part by Simon & Schuster because they contacted me and asked me if I'd be interested in participating in this promotion, and I of course said yes because I was planning on reading this book anyway because I read the first one and I absolutely loved it. So Simon & Schuster kindly sponsored this video, and they sent me Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. If you guys don't know, this is the second book in the Arc of Scythe series. The first book is called Scythe, and I did a video review of that, which I'll leave in the card symbol if you want to check it out. In the first book, it follows two children that are chosen to become Scythe apprentices, and basically in this world, people have become immortal because once you get older, you can do what's called turning the corner, and you get turned back into a younger version of yourself. The only way that you can actually die is if you get burnt, or if you're killed by this group of people called the Scythes, which decide which people live and which people die. And the two main characters are chosen to become new Scythes, or to try to become new Scythes. And it is so interesting. I absolutely loved the first book. Neal Shusterman actually used my video review in this compilation video talking about the first book, which I'll leave linked down below if you want to check it out. But yeah, I'm so pumped to read this book. It comes out January 9th. So what's funny about this situation is they sent me an arc so that I could start reading it sooner rather than later. I am hoping to start this book after whatever book I'm currently reading, which is Arabella and the Battle of Venus. But then they also sent me a finished copy of the book because I requested it because I really wanted to read it. But then because I'm a part of this promotion, they also sent me this box, which has a paperback copy of the first book, which I'll be giving to my brother because I already have a copy of this one. And they sent me a second hardcover of Thunderhead. So now I've got 3 copies of Thunderhead, one of which I will be giving to my brother so that he can read it as well because I think that he would really enjoy this book. So awesome. If you have not read this series, check it out. I've read like 16 Neal Shusterman books and they're all fantastic. This year I actually supported a couple of my favorite authors through Kickstarter for different projects that they were doing. First up was Michael J. Sullivan because he was coming out with the newest Rhyria Chronicle book, which if you guys don't know, I absolutely love the Rhyria Revelations and the Rhyria Chronicles and the, I forgot the name of it, the Age of Myth, Age of Sword, that series. So I decided to support it and I got the special edition, and that is The Disappearance of Winter's Daughter by Michael J. Sullivan. I am super pumped to read this. Only 500 of these were printed, and I have number 215, and it is signed and dated. And it follows these two guys, Royce and Hadrian, as they go through different adventures. Hadrian is a mercenary and Royce is an assassin, so they have a very cool dynamic together when they're traveling and going about doing their missions and everything like that. I love them, and I'll continue to read any book that Michael J. Sullivan comes out that is set in this world. And then the other author that I supported on Kickstarter was Brandon Sanderson. They were doing this cool minting of some coins from the Mistborn world, and it came pretty early on. Like, I got sent it one of the first people. So in it, it has some just Brandon Sanderson stuff. And then it has a letter and it says, official correspondence, Steel Ministry, Canton of Finance. And there's the seal. Do I want to break it? No, I don't want to. But I also want to read what's in it. And then I got I can't remember what level that I committed to, but I got 4 coins. Let's open this up. So exciting. It was like a Christmas present to myself. And the mint that did these coins was Shire Post Mint, and apparently they're absolutely amazing because these turned out great. So the coins are 1 clip and 1 boxing, and this is from the Final Empire. And then the rest of the books would have a clip and a boxing from a new age of the world. So I got both of these and they're absolutely amazing. And then because they did so well with the Kickstarter, they included a ash blackened clip as well from the Final Empire era, and they also included this bag to put all the coins in. I love them. It's so cool. And I'm gonna put them on my Brandon Sanderson shelves. I actually have 2 dedicated to just Brandon Sanderson. And the last thing I got before Christmas, I bought myself because I really like these editions, and it's also Brandon Sanderson. I bought this edition of the Well of Ascension, which is actually my favorite book in the first original trilogy of the Mistborn world. And I really love these black editions published by Glans, so I went ahead and picked up this one. I will be on the hunt for the first one, which is actually pretty hard to find now because I really want it. but I don't want to spend a ton of money for it, so I got this one while it was still cheap enough, and I will be adding this to my collection. Next are gifts that I got from my family members. My family is super, super generous for Christmas pretty much every year, and I'm so blessed to have them in my life. So the first book that they gave me is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the illustrated edition. And funny story about this book is I was in Books A Million and I actually opened it and a lizard popped out, like a real life lizard that was alive, was like running around the store, and I caught it and took it outside. I am super happy to have this. As you guys know, I really like Harry Potter and the Harry Potter world, so I'm happy to add this to my collection and flip through it and see all the beautiful illustrations. Next, my Nana gave me Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I have heard so many good things about this series, and a lot of you guys have been recommending this book to me for a very long time, so I went ahead and put it on my wish list, and one of my family members, specifically my Nana, got it for me, so I'm really pumped to see what all the hype is about, because I literally just want to see why everyone loves this book so much. My parents ended up giving me volumes 21 through 30 of Fairy Tail, which I absolutely love Fairy Tail. It's one of my favorite manga series. It's really my first one that got me into manga, so it's also nostalgic-ish for me. It follows this guild of wizards, and they all have different types of magic, but Fairy Tail is a little bit different than all of the other guilds because their members are crazy and like super weird and all over the place, but they're such good people, and they have such good friendships with each other, and they're super loyal, so I really love the magic and the friendship in this series, and I will continue to read it. And I think it just ended not that long ago. I think it's 50 something volumes, not exactly sure on that, so I'm almost halfway. I got the Heroes of Tolkien by David Day. This is similar to one that I already have that's green. I'm enjoying having these additional books that have illustrations in them, and they're all about Lord of the Rings and Middle Earth. So I'll be adding this to my Lord of the Rings collection, and there was a sticker on it, but I'm having a hard time getting it off. Reader problems. Next, I got some Harry Potter Fantastic Beasts merchandise. I got the Demiguise little statue. I have a bunch of these for the Harry Potter series that are scattered throughout my shelves. None of them are within reach, or else I'd show you them. But yes, I got the Demiguise, who is the animal that invisibility cloaks are made out of, their fur, because they can turn invisible. Then I got the Bowtruckle, which is the cutest little twig creature ever. I also got the Thunderbird and the Fwooper. These will be added to my collection. I need to figure out a better way to display these all so that they're kind of all together. I might end up putting them in my curio cabinet, which has a lot of my other Harry Potter merchandise, but I'm very happy to have these too. Lastly, I got the Alchemy and the Niffler. So I think I have all of the Fantastic Beasts statues. I'm very, very grateful for these. A couple of books that I asked for were the short and happy guides to some of my law school classes that I'll be having next semester. I got a short and happy guide to contracts and a short and happy guide to civil procedure, which there's one more that hasn't gotten to my house yet for some reason, but I will be getting it for my birthday so that I can read these before the classes even start, and I think that I'll be able to make a lot more connections as I go through the actual courses. We'll see. I also forgot to open this. Tor sent me a little Christmas care package. It says, Winter Wishes, Tor/Forge, from all of us. Oh wow, and they all signed it. That is super sweet. That is so awesome. Thank you guys. I'll be adding this to my Christmas cards that I got this year. I should have opened this before. And in here were some candy canes, a chocolate bar, and just some extra fun goodies that will make me gain even more weight than I have this Christmas break already. That was so sweet. Thank you guys. Then my aunt always just gives me a ton of books, so gonna go through those. I got the Black Tides of Heaven by, I do not know how to pronounce this name and I haven't looked it up. I apologize for that. I originally saw this on James' channel and I was really, really intrigued by it. This follows a set of twins and they both have some abilities and they decide to use their abilities to protect the world or something like that. But what's interesting about this one is, I think if I am getting it correctly, is that you don't choose your gender until later. So I am really intrigued to see how this culture is done, especially because it obviously has some Eastern Asian influences, and I'm curious to see about that as well. I took a class in Chinese literature in undergrad, so we'll see. I really want to read this one. Next up, I got Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. This is the second book in the Monsters of Verity series. It's a world where violent actions create actual monsters that come and hunt people down. And one of the main characters is one of these monsters and he wants to be more human. And then the other character that you follow, who I don't care for as much, is human and is trying to act more monstrous because her father is like a mob boss kind of deal. Anyway, I really enjoyed August in the first book, and I'm really curious to see how this series will wrap up because it's only a duology. Also, the first book didn't have any romance, and I'm really hoping that this one also won't have any romance. I tend to enjoy Victoria Schwab's young adult more than her adult. I liked Vicious a lot, but I have not been a huge fan of the Shades of Magic series. That has nothing to do with this book, but I'm hoping to enjoy this one. I got Oathbreaker, which is the 5th book in the Chronicles of Ancient Darkness series by Michelle Paver. I've been slowly making my way through this series, and I'm really enjoying it. It has a lot of native culture influences. It's not one specific native culture that she draws everything from. She takes different elements from different cultures around the globe. It's set in some type of Scandinavian environment, and I've just really enjoyed learning about these characters and following their journeys. It's a middle grade series that follows a boy that can talk to a wolf, and I think the first book is called Wolf Brother. I definitely recommend this one. And I'm so excited for all these books, and I can't read them all because I'm in law school. Next is The Girl Who Fell Beneath Fairyland and Led the Revels There by Catherine M. Valente. This is the 2nd book in the Fairyland series that Mari from My Name is Martinez really enjoys. So I want to see how the series continues, because the first book for me started off very slowly, and then the ending of that book is awesome. Really loved the ending, so I think that the rest of the series will continue to be just as amazing. I got Saga Volume 7 by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan. If you guys don't know what this is, it's a very popular comic book series on BookTube, and it follows a guy from the moon and a girl from the planet, and they're at war against each other, but they fall in love and have a child, and then it's them trying to escape all these people trying to hunt them down. It's definitely adult because it has sex and lots of violence and stuff like that. I thought that the comic book series was losing the plot a little bit in volume 4 and 5 or something like that, but 6 really started to put it back on track for me, and I'm excited to see if it stays on track. This is some of the illustrations that are in the book. I then got Shadowcaster by Cinda Williams-Chima. If you guys don't know, she is one of my favorite young adult fantasy authors. She has her entire shelf right here. All of her books that I have right here are signed because she is the sweetest woman on the planet and allowed me to break the rules, and instead of just getting 3 signed, I got all of them. She did the 7 Realms series, which starts off with the Demon King, and then she continued the series with Flamecaster, which takes place 20 years after the ending of the series. So there's some characters that are in the original series that play roles in this newer series, but in the secondary series she's expanded the world and the magic system a lot. And after I finished Flamecaster, the first book, I was so excited to read the second one. I just wanted to read it immediately, and I didn't have it, so I'm really happy that my aunt gave it to me so I can continue the series and figure out what's going to happen next. In one of my previous hauls, it's called the London Book Haul. It was last year for Thanksgiving that I went to London, England. I got a piece of artwork in that haul, and I asked for a frame for it for this year because it is a signed limited edition print, and I want it to stay nice and I don't want it to fade or anything like that. So my mother is the kindest woman, and she got an amazing frame for this piece of art, and it has that UV protection glass, so this will never fade or anything like that, and I absolutely love this frame and everything, so I just need to find a place to hang it up. I got number 33 out of 500. Then my aunt also gave me Age of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. This is the second book in the Legends of the First Empire series. That's what it was. I've really enjoyed this series. I did a book review of the first book, which I'll leave up in the card symbol if you want to check it out, where I go into a lot more detail about the world. But this is set about 3,000 years before the Rhaeria books, and I just really love this world and these characters, so I will be reading this one at some point in this next coming year. Ooh, that's not good. So I ended up ruining my copy of Arcanum Unbounded by Brandon Sanderson at some point. I do not know how that happened, but it is all scratched up and dented and stuff, so I was asking for a new copy to replace that one. This one, for some reason, the dust jacket was cut, so it doesn't cover the whole book. See? That's so weird. So I'm gonna have to return that and get a new one. I got the Inexplicable Logic of My Life by Benjamin Aliri-Sanz. This is the same author that wrote Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which I read last year or the year before and really enjoyed. He's a LGBT author, so I decided that I wanted to continue along with his books and check out this one as well. I'll let you guys know what I think of it when I do get to it. In 8,000 years. My aunt also got me The Candy Shop War Arcade Catastrophe, which is the second book in the Candy Shop Wars duology. I don't know if there was supposed to be any more books, but there's only 2. This is the only novel by Brandon Mull that I have not read yet. I have read every single one of his other novels, so I hope to read this one soon, and then I'll do a review of the duology together. It's about these children who meet this candy shop owner, and they eat magical pieces of candy that give them magical abilities. So it's really goofy. It's for younger readers, so a younger middle grade audience, but I have really enjoyed them because I really love Brandon Mull's writing and his stories and his messages. So we'll see. I got the Lost Stories by John Flanagan. This is book 11 of the Ranger's Apprentice series, which I have read the first 10 books. For some reason, this has a different cover than all of the other books, so I don't know what that's about. I think this is a new cover, but because this is kind of a companion, I'm okay with having a different cover. And I have no idea what stories are in here or where they take place, but I've stopped reading the synopses for these books because they spoil what's in the actual books. But I've been enjoying the Ranger's Apprentice series. It's just very, very long, so it's taken me a very long time to get through it. And the last book that my aunt got me was Runebinder by Alex R. Kaler. I think it's Kaler. This one follows this guy named Ten, and he lives in a world where people can control elements and stuff like that. He is a part of this group called the Hunters, and the Hunters are in charge of protecting the people from these half human, half monster beings. No, they're once human and now they're monsters. Anyway, he discovers that he's being used as a pawn, and so he has to try to continue to protect people, but then also figure out what the heck is happening and protect himself. And then I think he has a bit of a romance with another boy named Tomas. So we'll see what I think when I read it, which is funny because I actually think that these covers are very, very similar to each other, but they're not published by the same person. They just ended up looking pretty much the exact same. So that's all the things that I got from my parents and my mom's side of the family. I actually had 2 Christmases this year, so change of scenery. Alright, so this is where the second part of Christmas was. Some of my friends on BookTube and I did a bit of a book swapping, so each person got assigned someone else. And Lainey from Gingery's Lainey got me, so she sent me 2 books. The first one is The Talons of Power by Tui Mm. This is book 9 in the Wings of Fire series, which is one of my favorite middle grade series that I've read ever. It is so much fun. It follows different dragonettes in this world, and they're affecting change and everything like that. The first arc of the story is about 5 dragonettes that are prophesized to end this huge war that's been happening with the Sandwings. There's tons of different types of dragons, and they are the ones that will decide which queen is actually going to be the queen of the Sandwings, and I just really, really enjoy them. They're a little bit more violent, so not for the youngest of readers, but it's still so much fun, and I definitely recommend them. And I've already read this, and I really enjoyed it. And the other book that she sent me is The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. This is the 3rd and final book in the Broken Earth trilogy. I absolutely loved the first 2 books. I gave both of them 5 stars, I believe. And I'm really, really pumped to finish up this trilogy and see how it's all gonna unfold, and I guess wrap up. The Broken Earth trilogy is definitely one of my top fantasy series that I've read, so these were both amazing picks for me. Then my siblings and I have 3 siblings, 2 sisters and a brother, and we did the same thing where we each picked someone else. I got my little brother Torin, and my older sister Shay picked me. So she gave me The Changeling by Victor LaValle. I don't know how to say his name. I saw this one originally on Emily's channel, and I'll leave a link down below to her channel as well. She did a book review for this, and it just convinced me that I needed to read this right away. Apparently it starts off where this woman starts going crazy, basically. She is starting to act more and more neurotic, and her husband Apollo is trying to figure out what is happening. It's a retelling of a fairy tale, which I don't know what it is. And I guess at the beginning of the novel it's more contemporary, and then as the novel goes along, more and more weird elements start getting interwoven into the story, so I'm really, really excited to read this one. And the second book my sister bought me is The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This is the special edition, collector's edition, that has illustrations by John Rocco, who is the illustrator of those giant books, Percy Jackson, Greek Gods, and Percy Jackson, Greek Heroes. But I really, really love Percy Jackson, and I'm so happy to have this edition of the first book. And the last however many gifts were all from my partner. So first I got a couple of things from the PB Teen line thing that they came out with this year. The first thing is this pillow that says, "I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good," which I absolutely love. I think it is glow in the dark, but it was in my closet. I put it away so that it doesn't get ruined before I move back for my second semester of law school. I don't know what the glow in the dark is, but I absolutely love this. Then he also gave me this. This is a Hedwig lamp. So it has books on the bottom, then Hedwig, and then the lampshades up top. That's awesome. I love it. So I am going to be putting it together once I move back so that it travels a lot easier and I don't break it. After that, I got the 10th anniversary edition of The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which is such a beautiful cover, and it has the red end pages. I actually have read this book already. I read the original hardcover edition that I have. Actually, it's not the original one. It's the second edition cover, whatever. And I really did enjoy it, so I'm super happy to have this special edition that I'm going to be displaying on my bookcase, like turned this way so that everyone can see how beautiful it is. It follows this guy named Quoth, which I don't know if that's actually how you pronounce his name, but he is this infamous character in this world. He has magical abilities. Hi, puppy. What's up? Happy New Year, bud. That's the first New Year's kiss that I've gotten from you. And everyone really hates him. This chronicler has tracked him down and is asking him to tell his story, and each book is a day of Quoth telling his story to the chronicler. And this first book follows him as a child, so it follows him as he's a part of this traveling caravan of people, and then later on when he goes to a magical school and he's trying to learn magic and everything like that. Absolutely love the first book. Have not read the second one yet because I'm still waiting for a semi-release date of the third one before I jump into the second one. So I'll definitely be rereading this one, probably out of this cool edition, and then continuing the series after the third book has been not released, but announced, at least. I also got Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. This is the collection of fairy tales from the Grishaverse, and I actually got the Target one, which has the red cover on the inside, which is different. Everyone else's is black for some reason, and I am really pumped to get to this because I've read all of the Grishaverse books except for this one now, and it has illustrations, which is amazing, and I just am so excited for it. And I didn't realize, but the text is also different colors, so it's red when there's red images around there, and then it's blue when there's blue images. So hopefully I'll be reading this soonish, and love it. And the last book that I got for Christmas, but not the last thing in this haul, is George R.R. Martin's The World of Ice and Fire, and this is the Game of Thrones A Song of Ice and Fire companion humongous book. I have seen a couple of people get this, but I actually haven't seen inside of it, and I'm not going to show you what inside of it either because I don't want to unwrap it so that it travels well and I don't damage it. I've read the first 2 books and 300 and something pages of the third one, but I haven't finished the third one ever because it was so boring. I'm not sure if I'll try to continue on audiobook or if I'll try to go back and read the actual book, or if I will just abandon the series and appreciate this book and watch the TV show. I don't know, but I'm super happy to have this, and this will be going on my shelf with all my enormous companion books that I've gotten. Next, I got a Victrola. This is a 8-in-1 turntable, so it plays records and then it also plays CDs, and it's Bluetooth and it can play cassettes, and you can also turn all of your albums into MP3 so you don't damage the actual vinyl, but you still get that vinyl sound, if that makes sense. I've actually been wanting to get a record player for quite some time, and this one is so awesome looking, so I'll definitely be taking this to school with me and, you know, starting maybe an album collection. I'm actually gonna open this later today and play with it a little bit because I'm super excited to try it out. And the final thing that I got for Christmas is one of the most exciting things. I got, sorry, Jet, back off. I got Harry Potter original motion picture soundtracks 1 through 5, like vinyl. So it opens up, it's so nice. And the artwork is actually printed on the vinyl. So here's the first one, and it comes with a download so that I can download it and play it without actually playing the vinyl, but still get that vinyl sound. But the artwork's actually printed right onto the album, and there's the back. They are so, so pretty. And then they open up and it talks about everything. So this is so nice and I'm so excited. Look, and then the back has this on it. I'm now gonna be on the hunt for a couple of display cases so I can display these beautiful albums. So that is everything that I got for Christmas that is somewhat book related, and the books that I got for Christmas, as well as a couple of things I got before Christmas. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below what you guys got for Christmas. If there are any of the books that you want me to read sooner rather than later, or if you have any questions on anything that I got, leave those down in the comments, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.